All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our listing maintenance class. This is a class that is dedicated to learning how to enter an MLS listing, whether it be rental or for sale. We're also going to learn about the attachments that you can enter on the MLS and also the pictures and virtual tours, etc. Guys, if you have any questions, as always, please feel free and ask your questions. If you are new, then thank you so much for joining us in this class. This is definitely a recommended class because you're at some point you're going to be entering a listing in the MLS and you want to make sure that you're doing it correctly. All right. So we are going to not just practice how to enter a listing, but we're also going to talk about the do's and don'ts, what you can't and cannot, or what you can and cannot do inside of the MLS. Before we do so, guys, I'd love to invite you to our YouTube channel or my YouTube channel, which is here. And here you're going to be able to find all the classes that we have covered over the past several months. And we continue to add to this channel. I'm going to go ahead and share the link with you in our chat. So if you look in the chat, I am sharing right now the link for the YouTube channel where I always add our recordings. All right. So you have now the link to the YouTube channel there inside of the chat. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started inside the MLS, folks. Those of you that have never entered a listing in the MLS is rather simple, of course. You're just going to enter every single required field. Now, before we begin, you can always go and get familiar with the required fields by going to your name on the upper right corner and clicking on Help. You want to click on Help and then go here to the left and look for Data Input Forms. And then you want to select Miami Input Forms. Right here, we have a status change form. So once you have an active listing in the MLS and say you need to take it to temporary off the market or withdrawn or canceled, any status change, you are going to want to fill this one out. The RE1 form is for single family homes. The RE2 form is for condos or townhomes. And the RIN form is for your residential income. That's your duplex, triplex, and fourplex. For a rental listing, you're going to open up the rental or the residential rental data input form. And then for residential land, commercial business, and business brokerage. All right. All the way down here, there is an auction listing form. There's also a seller opt-out form, and there's a permission to advertise form. All right, so what are these forms? When you open it, you will see a PDF that it's for note-taking pretty much. When you go to the listing, to the property, and you're getting ready to sign that listing agreement, you want to make sure you take notes, right? Everything that has a red R is going to be a required field in the MLS listing. So make sure that you know each and every required field. So when it's time to enter the listing, you're not struggling to enter the data. So make sure that you know everything that is in red. Okay. You can print these out, take it with you, and you can document the notes. And once again, that's here under your name, under help, and then clicking on data input forms and opening up the Miami paper input forms. All right. So let's go ahead and begin with our exercise. You're going to go to the right-hand side in your menu, and you're going to click on more, and then you're going to click on add edit. Okay. We are going to practice right now in a live setting how to add a listing in the MLS. I ask you guys, if you're going to practice at some point on your own, please do not submit the listing, because then you will actually enter a listing in the MLS and activate it for sale. All right. So when you get to the end of your exercise, you want to go ahead and cancel everything you've done. You do not want to submit, and I'll show you. Okay. So coming over here, you have add new and you have edit existing. If you had existing listings, if you currently have listings, you will see a drop-down menu here showing you the existing listings. So I don't have any listings right now, so we're gonna go ahead and click on add new. And we are gonna practice with a single family home. So let's go ahead and click on single. All right, and then choose your county. If the home is in Dade County, you choose Dade. If the home is in Broward, you choose Broward, and then the other counties that you see here. We're gonna go ahead and choose Dade. All right. And then on the right-hand side, you want to search for the home because you want to auto-populate information from the tax roll. So notice here, must use tax auto-pop to enter square foot fields. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and put in here the address of the property. Let's go ahead and put in an address. And then we're going to go ahead and click on search. Here is the address of a property that I'm going to go ahead and enter as an example. We're going to click on fill. See it on the left-hand side? We're going to click on fill. And then you have this option, active or coming soon. So the only difference is that coming soon is not going to be marketed outside of the MLS just yet. So active is fully active and it's being marketed inside the MLS and outside of the MLS on other websites. Coming soon will still be visible inside the MLS, but it will not be marketed outside the MLS. A coming soon status is good for 21 days. If you look at the bottom, a coming soon status is good for 21 days. After the 21st day, then it will automatically switch to active. You know, owners may place a property in coming soon because they're getting ready to sell their home. However, they're still, painting the home, they're still remodeling the home, they're cleaning it out. So that's what the coming soon does. All right, we're gonna go ahead and stick with active and then come up here and we're gonna move to the first screen, which is location information. All right. Oh my God. Before I get started here, guys, I do also want to mention that when you do have a listing, a brand new listing, and you have your listing agreement signed, it is important that you send us the listing agreement. You want to send it to the Elite Transaction Coordinator. Okay, very important that you always send the listing agreement within 24 hours of you getting the listing up on the MLS. All right, so we need a copy of the signed listing agreement, and you can always send it to our Elite Transaction Coordinator. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. Everything in yellow is required. So from the first page, you pretty much have this top section here in yellow, and we are missing a few fields. So I'm going to give you a little tip. You see over here where it says area, and then there's a drop-down menu, and you're wondering which area you can choose. You can always go to help on the upper right corner, and you can click on help, and you can find the area map, right? Or you can just go based off the folio number. So take a look at the folio number, which is also known as a parcel ID number. And it's made out of several different digits, right? So 03 is your municipal code. 41 is your township and range or area. 07 is your section. 018 is your subdivision number. And lastly, 1910 is your parcel ID. Take a look down here. You have municipal code, township and range, section, subdivision, parcel. So automatically, we're going to go ahead and say municipal code is what? 03. Then section must be what? 07. So we have 3, 41, 7, 018, 1910. And once again, the second digit in your folio is your area. So you come over here and you select area 41. And that's my tip for you guys. So you don't go off looking at an area map and searching for what area the property is in. It is different in Broward County. In Broward County, the area is a 4-digit number. It's called geographic area. And you can always refer to the help section and open your area maps, and you will be able to find the area in Broward County. All right. So Jonathan, yes, I mean, that's another way you can always focus on a previous listing or a neighbor in the area, and you may be able to find out the area. But the easiest way really is that whatever the township and range is, that's also your area. All right, so everything else on the first page is not required. However, if you absolutely know the schools like elementary, middle, and high school, then go ahead and open the drop-down menu and place it in there. I'm going to give you a tip on how to find schools. You see this little program up here called IMAP? We're going to go ahead and click on that real quick. And then right here where it says property address in Miami-Dade County, we're going to put in 1210 Pizarro, which is what the property I am using. All right, and of course, it wants to switch over to the brand new IMAP. So give me 1 second here while I do this again. Miami-Dade County, and then 1210 Pizarro. Have you guys already started using the new IMAP program? All right, this is the new version of IMAP,
Yes,
and
sir.
I'm already using it. It's pretty cool. You see down here, assigned schools. So IMAP has the exact schools assigned to each property. So the school, Coral Gables Preparatory Academy, is the elementary school. Ponce de Leon Middle School is the middle school, and then Coral Gables Senior High School is the high school. These are the assigned schools. You can find assigned schools for any property in all of Florida using IMAP. Just go to the property, go down below, and find the schools. So knowing that, you can come over here and you can pre-fill this data. Coral Gables Preparatory Academy over here. All right, Coral Gables, Coral Gables, Coral Gables. There you go. All right, and then Ponce de Leon over here. Ponce de Leon. And then Coral Gables Senior High. All right. Only if you are positively sure of the schools. And one way you're going to confirm that is by going to IMAP. Okay, so next up, we're going to go to the next page up here. General information. I want you guys to see at the bottom, there is a button called Validate. Validate is going to allow you to check for any mistakes you may have made. I usually click on Validate at the end of my data entry. Guys, once you are used to doing this, it should not take you more than 10 minutes to enter a listing. I promise you. Okay, so let's run through this. This is the second page, general information. Is the property a short sale? Yes or no? Is the property a foreclosure? That's what REO stands for, a foreclosed property. Yes or no? Not, is the property in foreclosure? So if the property is currently in foreclosure, but it has not foreclosed yet, it is not an REO. An REO is a bank-owned property. Okay, so it's already owned by the bank. So in this case, it's a no. On the right-hand side, you're going to put in the list price. Let's go ahead and list this property for $975,000. Style, very important. You must answer this correctly. Does the house have a swimming pool? All right, so if it does have a pool, it's R31. If the house has a swimming pool and it's also waterfront, then you're going to go ahead and select what? You have waterfront, pool ocean access, All right, right here you have waterfront, no ocean access. You have waterfront pool, no ocean access. So if it's on a lake, then it would be R33, waterfront pool, no ocean access. If it's on a lake without a pool, then it would be waterfront, no ocean access. If it has no pool, no waterfront, then it's R30. All right, so this house does not have a pool, and this house is not on the water, so it's going to be R30. Notice the square footage for the property. It is auto-populated from IMAP. If I open up IMAP and I come here, you will see that the living area is 1,424 square feet. If I take you back to Matrix, you will also see the living area equal to 1,424. Do not make any changes to this, okay? On the right, you have for lease. Is it for lease? And the answer is no. Then come over here to type, and this is a single family home. It is not a mobile home. Front exposure. This house faces east. Okay? It's important for you guys to know this. By this time, you have already been to the house and you know which direction the front of the house faces. In the event that you are doing this listing and you've never been to the house, all right, you want to take a look. This is the house right here. This is the front of the house. To the right is east. To the north is, or upwards is north. South is to the bottom, and then west is to the left. So this house faces east. Okay, you can find that out real quick by using any map, really. Okay. All right, so come over here, 1968 year built, property age description. It's a resale. All right, if this were a new construction, then you would select new construction. Otherwise, it's a resale. HOPA is your 55 and over communities. This property is not in a 55 and over community, so we answered no HOPA. If you are entering a listing that is in a 55 and over community, then you would enter verified. We're going to go with no HOPA. Garage spaces, this house has no garages, so 0. Okay. All right, moving down here. Oh, one thing here. I asked you guys to not change the square footage. What if the owner tells you, actually, Robert, the living area square feet is 1,600 square feet? Then you see this section right here, building square footage, agent. That means that you inputted it. You're going to put in here 1,600. And then on the right, you're going to say the source is the owner. The owner is telling you it's 1,600. Or an architect is telling you it's 1,600, or an appraisal was performed, and the result is that the property is 1,600 square feet. All right. So while you cannot really touch this up here, or you should not touch this up here, you can put in the actual square footage here where it says building square feet, and then select your source. All right, moving on down to another yellow field here, parking description. There is a driveway. You got circular driveway, covered parking, you have carports, other things like that. So you have those options. Okay. Now you have a max of 3. On the right, we have lot description. Again, max of 3. This property is 5,000 square feet of land, right? 5,250. So it's less than a quarter acre. Okay. Waterfront, no. Moving on. View, there is no view. It's a regular home, so we're just gonna go ahead and put in other, right? You can put none if you like. We're gonna put other. Of course, view is important when you're entering a condo or when you're entering a home in the MLS that has one of these views, a view of the bay, a view of the golf course, a view of the intercoastal. All right, in this case, it's just other view. Swimming pool, no. All right. Now, if it does have a swimming pool over here, you're going to describe the pool. Is it an above ground? Is it a below ground pool? And then if you like, you can also let us know the dimensions of the pool. Okay. Is this house attached or detached? It is detached. Okay, next up, we have construction. Most construction here in South Florida is CBS construction. You can always go to IMAP and you can find out what the construction of the home is. I believe you can do this. Building information. See here, wall CBS reinforced. So it is a CBS construction home. Design description. This is a one-story home. If it is 2 stories, you select 2 stories. If there's anything specific about the home, is it an old Spanish home? You want to put that there. Okay. And then flooring, ceramic tile. Let's just go with tile floors. Is there anything special about the tile about the floors? You're gonna put in here. You can do up to 4. All right, so we're done with this page. We're gonna go now to remarks. This is where we need to pay attention, guys. You have remarks. You also have broker remarks, and you have internet remarks. Now, remarks is for the public view, meaning that anyone that has access to the MLS and anyone outside of the MLS, like on websites like Realtor.com and Zillow.com, is going to see the remarks. This is a space for you to describe the home. All right. This beautiful, this beautiful home in Coral Gables is for sale at an amazing price. I don't know what I'm writing here, guys. I'm just writing. Okay. All right. Do not place your name, your phone number, or your email address, or any type of instructions to contact you under remarks. That is a violation of the MLS rules and regulations. You will get a warning first. And if you do not remove it, then you will get a fine. All right. Even if you get a fine, guys, they'll give you a chance. They'll ask you to remove it and you'll remove it and that's it. But if you kind of leave it there, you will get a fine. So where do you place instructions for other agents? Under broker remarks. Here's where you'll see normally call listing agent Robert Rodriguez for showings. And then you put in numbers here, like that. Okay. All right. So that is what you're going to do when it's instructions for other agents, or perhaps the seller is contributing some type of concession to the buyer and their closing costs, then you're going to see that normally here. And this is actually where you're going to be entering it as well. Okay. Pay attention, guys. Rules are going to be changing this summer. The commissions field in the MLS is going to disappear. When your seller is going to contribute towards the buyer's closing costs in a form of concessions, you are going to now start seeing that a lot under broker remarks. Okay. Internet remarks comes out in the internet. Again, Realtor.com, Zillow.com of the world, people's websites. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy what I wrote up here. And we're going to paste it here. All right. So internet remarks. Now notice, guys, your remarks field is up to 800 characters. Your internet remarks fields is not. Your internet remarks fields is only 150 characters, so it has to be something very short. Okay? Now, in the event that you have written a very large description of the home in remarks and it does not fit here, you have what's called supplemental remarks. Look down here. Supplemental remarks. You have up to 10,000 characters if you want to go on and on describing the property in your remarks. All right, so we're done here. We're going to go ahead and move to rooms. Does anyone have any questions when it comes to remarks? No branding at all under remarks. No instructions to other agents under remarks. And I'm going to tell you why. I was going to tell you at the end, but I'm going to tell you why. The MLS is a shared database. We depend on the MLS to share properties with our clients. It is not fair for me to share a property with my client where now they see in the remarks the listing agent name and their phone number. So for that reason alone, it is not allowed inside of remarks. When I share a property with my client, they never see the broker remarks. Broker remarks are meant to stay inside the MLS listing and only agents see broker remarks. So this is completely allowed. Okay. All right, rooms. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. Everything is pretty much on the first floor. There's no there's no second floor. So you're gonna go ahead and put in here bedroom description, additional rooms. Let's say it has a family room. Let's go ahead and put in a utility laundry room. Okay. And you're going to come down here. If you want to also let people know about the dining description, it is not a required field, but I mean, if it has a breakfast area, right? If it has an eating kitchen, or if it has a formal dining room, go ahead and put that. You know, the more information you put on the MLS, the easier the property is marketed. And if there's any ADA compliant to the property, you can also put that here. Down below, you have a section where you can do your room dimensions. I normally just skip right over that. And let's go here to additional information. All right. For condos, pets allowed, yes or no? All right. Obviously, for a single family home, we ignore that. Interior features. Okay. So again, first floor entry. Is there anything specific? Let's say we have a bar. You know, let's say we have an elevator. All right, we have elevator here. Let's say we have a fireplace. Is there anything specific about the interior that you want to highlight? You can choose up to 7. Equipment appliances, you can choose up to 14. So when it comes to equipment appliances, remember, if you place this in the MLS, that means that it is part of the sale. Okay, so when someone purchases the property, they're going to be purchasing the dishwasher, right? The disposal, the dryer. They're going to be, let's go with here, electric range, refrigerator. All right, wall oven, washer. All right, so you add all the equipment that will be included with, or appliances that will be included with the sale of the property. Okay. Exterior features, we got a barbecue. Let's go with built-in grill, and let's go with deck. Okay. Subdivision information, there's actually no subdivision. It's not a gated community. So we're gonna go with no subdivision park info. All right. Over here, heating, this is central heat. Cooling is also central cooling. Water description, is it city water, which is municipal water, or is it well water? Let's go with municipal water. Of course, you guys need to confirm that. Same thing with sewer. Is it municipal sewer or septic tank? Again, you need to confirm that. Roof description, we're gonna go with barrel roof. Once again, you need to confirm what type of roof it has. They have that new aluminum roofing that you see everywhere right there. Okay. Restrictions. Are there any restrictions? There's no restrictions. This is a single family home. So we're gonna put in no restrictions. Guys, if you are entering a listing in a gated community where there are restrictions, for example, they don't allow you to lease the property, then no leasing. Or things like other restrictions that you may not see there, you want to select other restrictions. Okay, very important. People look for that. Question features, we're not in a horse ranch, so we're gonna go ahead and leave that blank. Storm protection and green energy efficient, you can leave that blank as well. Now, all right, if you want to, you can select over here high impact door, impact windows, impact glass. You can. All right. Next, we go to financial office information. You guys need to pay attention here, okay? If this property is being sold and obviously cash is considered, then all cash. If this property is being sold where only cash is considered, then you would do cash only. All right, we're gonna go with all cash, and then we're also gonna go with conventional. This property is being sold at $975,000. That is above the FHA threshold. So do not mark FHA because it's quite possible it's not going to be approved. All right. If you were selling a home, around $500,000, 550 or less, then yes, you can choose FHA. Type of association, there is no association. Once again, this is very important. If you are in a HOA, then you're going to select homeowners association. And then on the right-hand side, you're going to enter the monthly association fee. Whether it's $100, $50, $200, you enter the association fee on the right. And then you're going to say the association fee is paid monthly. Is there a membership fee? All right, to live in this area? No, it's not an HOA. It's not a private community, so there is no membership fee. If there is, then you say yes, and then right here, you're going to say how much the membership fee is. All right, possession information. This means when does the new owner or the buyer gain access to the home? It's usually at funding. You can put at closing as well. Okay. Try never to use before closing, because then you're pretty much saying, hey, we're willing to give the keys to the new owner before the closing. No. At closing or funding. Okay. Over here, you got your tax amount, and that's going to go up, guys. This is a house that has been owned for a very long time, since 1984, and they pay very low taxes. Okay, so that tax is going to go up substantially. And if you guys want to know more or less what it's going to be like, multiply the purchase price times 1.7%. And that's usually what your new tax bill will be. All right, so yeah, the tax is going to go up substantially from that amount of 3463. This is someone who's had homestead exemption since 1984. All right. Property taxes by law cannot go up more than 3% in any given year because of a homestead exemption. So, pretty low taxes. All right, tax year, 2023. Tax information, tax reflects what? Okay, it reflects homestead tax. It also reflects city and county. City and county tax right there. Is the owner also the listing agent? So if you are selling your own home, you are answering yes. In every other case, you answer no. All right, did I skip anything here? Doesn't seem like I did. So we're gonna move on down here, okay? Here is your information. Here is our office information. If you are listing this property with a co-listing agent, you put in their license number here and you add them, okay? And you can do this. Lastly, down here, we have compensation and miscellaneous information, all right? Beginning with internet, all right? You want your property to be marketed on the internet, so you should always say yes. If you say no, guys, the property is going to stay inside the MLS and never marketed outside of the MLS. So it does not show up in Zillow and Realtor.com. So you want to keep it at yes. All right, AVM, automated valuation model. I tend to always say no to this. I do not want an automated valuation attached to my listing. I don't want an automated system saying my listing is worth $850 and I'm trying to sell it for $975. So no AVMs. Blogging, yes. You want your property to be part of other people's blogs. So you're giving permission to for your property to show up in different blogs. The address on the internet, on the listing agreement, the seller will have an option to say, yes, show my address on the internet. No, do not show my address on the internet. In most cases, it's yes. In the event that they say, keep my address private, then you will obviously select no. Listing type over here on the right, on the left, listing type. This is an exclusive right to sell and rent. All right. There are other listing types like limited service, exclusive variable, exclusive with exceptions, exclusive agency. We are transaction brokers, so we are doing exclusive right to sell and rent. And this gives us exclusivity to the property. Listing date. All right. Today's date, May 2nd. Expiration date. Let's go 6 months. So June, July, August, September, October, November. November 1st. Okay. Only you and your broker can see the expiration date. No one else can see the expiration date. That's why when you guys are looking at listings in the MLS, you are not able to see the expiration date. It is unfair to show other competing agents when your listing is set to expire. They can see, however, when you listed the property, and they can see the days on the market, but they cannot see the expiration dates. All right, variable dual rate. In most cases, we are going to say no. Let me explain to you what a variable dual rate is. In your listing agreement, and you are going to charge the seller 6% to sell their home. If that rate differs, if it's variable, in the event that you bring the buyer as well, and you agreed with the seller, hey, if I bring you the buyer, I'm going to give you a 1% break on the commission, then the rate is variable. Okay. If it is a flat fee of 6%, no matter who brings the buyer, then it is no, it does not vary. All right. Very important to answer this. Guys, this field over here, compensation, is going to disappear at some point this summer. But for now, if we got the listing at 6%, then we're putting here 3% transaction broker, 3%, buyer agent, 3%, non-representative. If you got the listing for 5% and you're equally sharing the commission, then it would be 2.5%. You are going to see several listings already on the MLS where they are offering you as a buyer agent 0%. Okay, that's going to be perfectly normal going forward. Remember, as buyer agents, we must starting this summer, we must sign an exclusive buyer broker agreement where we explain to our buyer what our duties are and how much we're going to charge them for our services, and expect the buyer to pay for our commission. But there will be sellers that will be contributing toward that in a form of a concession. All right, so we will have more classes of that coming soon. And you guys can always go to the Realtor Association and take one of their courses. There's plenty of courses that you can take to learn about the upcoming rule changes. Occupancy information. Is the property owner occupied, tenant occupied, or vacant? Let's go with owner occupied. Of course, since it's owner occupied, I'm probably going to need 24-hour notice to show the property and appointment only. Guys, if the property is vacant, then you're probably going to put in 24-hour notice, and you're going to put in maybe Supra lockbox. All right. Please do not put in a combination lockbox. All right. Let's spend the additional money necessary to obtain an electronic Supra lockbox. And you can always get those at the association. Let me tell you how dangerous a combination lockbox is. When someone finds out the combination, all right, they can go in and they can wipe out the entire house in the middle of the night. And no one's ever going to know who did it. Okay, you can also have squatters pretty much staying at the house, the vacant house, at night, and no one's going to notice because of that combination lockbox. A Supra electronic lockbox, while it does cost about $130 to get one from the association, only realtors with the Supra key on their phone are able to open a Supra lockbox. So it is the most safest, secured way to show a property and to list our property and have other agents show it. Okay. All right, so in this case, it's not on a lockbox because it is owner occupied. I need a by appointment, and I need 24-hour notice, and I also need people to call me, call listing agent. Lastly, down here, we're gonna go ahead and say realtor to upload the images. All right. So we are finished, guys. This is where I tell you to please be careful if you are practicing at home. Do not click on submit listing. Once again, do not click on submit listing, because that is going to activate the listing, and then you're going to have to call the association and say, hey, can you please delete this listing from the MLS? It was just practice. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and click on cancel input. Now, if you want to save it as an incomplete, you can also do that, and you can delete the incomplete listing as well. You do not want to click on submit listing. Now, to check for mistakes, you're going to click on validate. Let's see if we have any mistakes. And look at that. Even in a class setting, I still had 2 mistakes I made. So right here we have 1, and right over here we have 1. Let's go to general information. Where is our mistake? Carports. 0, no carports. Validate, that's now taken care of. Go over here to financial office information, and I made a mistake where? Okay to advertise. Yes, attribution required. All right, so that should not have been a mistake. Attribution not required. It shouldn't be a mistake, but I'm going to go ahead and switch it to attribution required. Here's what this means. I allow people to advertise my listing if they provide a small little courtesy of Elite Ocean View Realty. All right. So they must, on the advertisement, give a disclosure that this listing is courtesy of Elite Ocean View Realty. That's what attribution required means. Attribution not required means that, well, it's not required. They don't have to give us credit. I know why this was an error. Our office does not accept attribution not required. We are set to attribution required. So if I click on validate, it should fix itself. Yes, it does. All right, so I am ready to submit the listing. Of course, I'm not going to. I'm going to go ahead and click on save as an incomplete. It is now completed. Guys, if you're going to use showing time, configure your showing time. You can come here, you can configure your listing on showing time and say, this property is available for showings between the hours of 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. Monday through Sunday. Okay. You guys configure your showing time so when people schedule a showing through showing time, they see the hours that the property is available for showings. Okay. If you want to add or to add photos, you want to go here to the bottom and you want to click on edit, add photos, and you want to add photos. You can add up to 99 photos. That's a lot of photos. Guys, if you are hiring a professional photographer to take pictures, but you're entering the listing first, at least have one photo. Do not upload a listing to the MLS with no photos. That is a violation. You will get a warning first. You must have at least one photo. So take a photo with your cell phone of the exterior of the house and upload it here. And then wait for the professional photographer to provide you the rest of the photos. Okay? The photos cannot contain branding. You cannot brand the photos. So I'm going to go ahead and click on browse right here. And I'm going to select here some photos. Give me 1 second. These are not going to be photos of a house. These are just going to be some photos that I have. Well, perhaps some photos of a house. All right, I'm going to go ahead and now click on open, and it is now uploading all my photos. All right, you can upload all of them, guys. If you have 50 photos to upload, you don't have to select one by one. Select all 50 and then just upload them. You can describe what each photo is, right? Enter description, and then basically come here, hit certify and save. All right, my photos have now been entered. If I come over here and I click on edit photos, I can come back and I can edit these photos. So notice this one here, the front of the house. All right, if I want to move it, I can move it over here and place it in this slot. And then hit certify and save and adjust, change the order of the photos. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and click on my matrix and show you the listing. When I go here to more, add edit. All right, I now have a drop-down menu that did not exist before. It's there, 1210 Pizarro. I can always come here and I can click on single family home to edit the listing. I can change it to active, or I can delete the listing. Please delete the listing. This is not a real listing. Okay. Manage photos, manage attachments, configure your showing time. Okay. Again, that's more. Add edit. You will now see a drop-down menu. Select the listing you want to edit, and then it takes you here. When you have your listing active and you receive a contract and the contract is accepted, then your next step is to change it to pending. When you change it to pending, it's going to ask you a few questions like, the pending date and the expected closing date. Just like when you have a closing on your pending transaction, once you close it out, it's going to ask you a few questions like, who was the sales agent, right? Who was the buyer agent? How much did it sell for? On what date did it close? You will answer that information. It holds true for rentals as well, both sales and rentals. It's the same thing. Okay. Now I'm going to go here to my matrix, guys. In my listings, when I go over here to my matrix, my listings, I can always look at this drop down menu and I can see, all right, my incomplete listing. There it is. And here's Pizarro Street. Click on it, and this is what the listing looks like right now. So as you can see, guys, this is a real listing. It's really live. It's just not active yet. All right. So do not activate the listing because it is going to go live. And the only way we can get it deleted is by calling the board of realtors and having them delete the listing. All right. You do not want to activate a listing by mistake. So how do I delete it? It's very simple. Again, add edit, select the listing, click on delete incoming status listing. Say yes, we'd like to delete the listing, and then go ahead and hit submit. And I no longer have this listing. Watch this. All right, more, add edit, add edit. I no longer have a drop-down menu. I no longer have a listing under my name. So practice obviously makes perfect. Like I told you guys, it shouldn't, once you get a hang of this, it's gonna take you no less than 10 minutes or no more than 10 minutes to enter a listing in the MLS. All right, of course, the remarks are gonna probably take you a little bit more to write out the remarks. A lot of people use ChatGPT or AI to do some fancy remarks. And then of course your photos, you know, you want to upload photos into the MLS. All right, so does anyone have any questions in what we just covered today? This is a very simple class. It's a required class, especially for newer agents who've never entered a listing in the MLS. Now we've gone through the process of entering the listing in the MLS. And it of course, it has been recorded, and we will share this recording with you later this afternoon. No questions, guys? All right. So guys, do
Thank you
not be
so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Do not be afraid to practice. I do it all the time. Instructors practice too, right? So don't be afraid to practice, and soon you will have your first listing, or soon you'll have a listing that you want to enter in the MLS and you know exactly how to do so. Okay?
Robert,
Amazing. Thank you.
Yes.
good morning, by the way. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Morning.
I got a quick question, man. I got a client looking for a home due to his religious preferences. The front door needs to be facing only the east. Is there a way to look up on the MLS just for that specification that the home is
Yes.
facing east?
Yes. So search RE1, RE2. All right. Additional fields. You're going to go ahead and put in exposure, front exposure, add, back, go all the way to the bottom, and the front needs to face east. All these homes right here face east. Single family,
Perfect.
Miami-Dade County, 718, zip code 33134. All right, 15 matches. All these homes face east.
Nice. Okay.
Yep.
A lot better, man. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, guys, you know how to reach me. So if you have any questions, you can always call me, email me, text me, and I call you back as soon as I can. All right, guys. So thank you so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you next Tuesday for our next training.
Thank you, Robert.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Have a great week.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.